If she starts pulling away, your first instinct is probably panic. You assume she's losing interest, ghosting you, or that you said or did something wrong. But what if the opposite is true? What if the distance isn't because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much and doesn't know how to handle it? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear goes against everything you've been told about female psychology. There's one specific behavior most men completely misread, and once you understand it, you'll know for sure when she's fighting her own feelings. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The same woman who seems distant today may already have imagined a future with you. And that's exactly why she's running. When feelings appear unexpectedly, especially strong ones, they don't always feel exciting. They feel dangerous. When you learn to tell the difference between real disinterest and emotional self-protection, everything changes. You stop panicking, you stop chasing, and you start seeing what's really happening beneath the surface. Think about how it started. She was warm, engaged, flirty. Conversations flowed effortlessly. She laughed at your jokes. The chemistry felt undeniable. Then suddenly, something shifted. Her replies got shorter. She became busy all the time. The energy changed overnight. Most men assume that means she lost interest. But sometimes, the strongest emotions create the strongest resistance. There's actual neuroscience behind this. When a woman develops real feelings, her brain can release the same stress hormones associated with danger. Emotional vulnerability triggers her survival instincts. Her body isn't telling her to run because you're wrong for her, but because you might be too important. This fear hits hardest in women who've been hurt before, women who value their independence, or women who never planned on catching feelings for you. Real emotions threaten their sense of control. They create fear of getting hurt, fear of losing power, fear of wanting someone more than they want her. So without even realizing it, she starts testing you. Small withdrawals, subtle distance, little moments of tension. Not to push you away forever, but to see how you react. Most men don't even realize they're being tested until it's already over. When this protective instinct kicks in, she pulls back before things feel too real. It's not logical. It's emotional survival. Ironically, the more she likes you, the more confusing her behavior becomes. But here's the key detail. A woman who's scared doesn't disappear completely. She leaves contradictions, mixed signals, patterns that don't add up. One of the clearest signs is hot and cold behavior. One day she's texting fast, opening up, sharing personal stories. The next day she's distant, slow to reply, emotionally flat. If she didn't care at all, she'd be consistently cold. This back and forth shows internal conflict. Part of her wants to move closer, part of her wants to escape. Notice when the coldness happens. If it's right after deep conversations or emotional moments, that's not rejection. That's resistance to her own feelings. Another sign is defensiveness when things get emotionally close. You ask something personal, give a meaningful compliment, or casually mention the future, and she suddenly deflects, jokes, or changes the subject. Disinterested women don't get defensive, they disengage. Defensiveness means something touched a nerve. And here's the giveaway. If you pull back after she does this and she suddenly reaches out, you've confirmed it. She doesn't want closeness, but she doesn't want to lose you either. Then there's the watching. She pretends she's not paying attention, but she is. She views your stories immediately but takes hours to reply. She remembers small details you mentioned weeks ago. She knows things about your life you barely talked about. That's not casual interest. That's someone replaying conversations in her head while trying not to care. Another behavior men misread is when she mentions other guys. A coworker flirting, an ex texting, someone asking her out. There's no real excitement in her tone, just information. This isn't confidence, it's a test. She's checking your emotional reaction. Will you get jealous? Will you chase? Will you lose composure? If you do, you fail. Indifference with light amusement shows strength and emotional control. Pay attention to her friends too. If they act strange around you, give knowing looks, or casually say she talks about you, that's not random. Women don't discuss men they don't care about with their inner circle. And if her friends create chances for you two to be alone or conveniently disappear, that's coordinated effort, not coincidence. Most men make two mistakes at this stage. They either chase harder, trying to convince her it's safe, or they walk away completely. Both backfire. Chasing shows neediness. Disappearing signals you never cared. What actually works is giving space without vanishing. Match her energy calmly. Stay consistent, not clingy. Pull back, but pull back into your life, not into silence. When you do reach out, make it purposeful. Not, "Hey, how are you?" but something specific that genuinely reminded you of her. That shows interest without obsession. It also shows you're living a full life. When she sees you're steady and unshaken by her distance, the fear starts to fade. She feels safer because you're not demanding emotional control over her. Share vulnerability without turning her into your emotional anchor. Emotional depth is attractive. Emotional dependency is not. There's a difference between saying you understand hesitation and asking her to reassure you. Stay grounded. Stay self-directed. Keep building your life. The more fulfilled and secure you are, the safer she feels leaning in. There is one exception you need to know. Some women show all these signs but will never commit. They're not scared of feelings. They're addicted to the chase. The difference is simple. A scared woman's resistance slowly decreases over time. A chase-addicted woman's resistance stays the same or increases. If weeks or months pass with no progress, that's not fear, that's drama. And the only correct response is walking away with self-respect. Here's the final truth. You can't force someone to stop being afraid, but you can become the kind of man who makes fear unnecessary. And the moment you stop obsessing over her signals and start focusing on your own growth, you win either way. Because real strength is being interested without being attached. The moment obsession replaces self-respect, you've already lost, not just her, but yourself. If this hit home, drop a comment with the word feelings. And make sure you're subscribed, because next time I'll show you the exact message that makes a scared woman start chasing on her own.